On tonight's show, with D-Law joining me shortly, I will talk about Caitlin Clark's breaking Pistol Pete Maravich NCAA scoring record. What does that mean for her legacy and what she could do to cement her status as one of the greatest college players of all time? Plus, Lebron reaches 40K in the NBA world. What else can he do to cement his legacy as one of the all-time greats? Plus, I'll talk about my trip down to Tuscaloosa to watch Alabama versus Tennessee. I'll go over the game and whatnot, what I saw live and all that. Plus, your scores, news from the world of basketball here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all his sports, and you're welcome to join us. And join us actually our shout tonight here for a fast break here for IE Sports Radio. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mr. Davidson Crooks. D-Lock texted me not too long ago. Say they had a staff meeting over there at Pitt. So he would join us. I told him just take your time. And he joins momentarily whenever that meeting gets done. So, so that's that right there. So hopefully D-Lock will join us here shortly. But how is everybody doing tonight? Lots to talk about, lots to get into tonight on tonight's show. A lot of breaking things that happened, this week, mainly this weekend, that bring the discussion into the show tonight. Last night, we saw LeBron eclipse 40K. He could have got the 40K against Washington. Was it Thursday night? And no, he didn't get the job done there, but luckily the team won after kind of going back and forth for Washington the whole game. But you knew he kind of get that record come Saturday, and what he did. Then we get to today. Miss Caitlin Clark out of Iowa needed to pass Pistol Pete Maravich for the all-time NCAA scoring record. But she had to do that against a tough Ohio State team. An Ohio State team that's already claimed the regular season Big Ten title back-to-back, mind you. So, you had that. And I was watching that game. The Fox folks had like a little box on the left-hand corner, just kind of, counting down the points and all that stuff for Caitlin. And then I thought at one point watching that game, with Caitlin Clark, in Iowa, all that towards the end first half, I thought Ohio State was trying to play keep away and trying to hold the ball and stuff like that. But they really didn't. I mean, if they had the open shots, they took them, of course. But even, they were, and Iowa wasn't really trying to force feed Caitlin the ball to try to break that record. The game just kind of came natural watching that game. And at one point, Caitlin, didn't shoot the ball, but was passing the ball and her teammates were scoring. trying to, keep the lead up and all that. But she eventually tied the record, and she broke the record on free throws due to a technical foul on Ohio State. And to some folks, it may feel anticlimactic how she broke the record. But, because she didn't shoot a three, make a jump shot, whatever the case may be. But I think, if you get past all that, trying to look at like when LeBron broke the scoring record, trying to look for that big moment. Breaking Pistol Pete's record, in the fashion she did, hey, it's great. I had no qualms about that. And, for Iowa, you kind of had to win this game because, hey, to show you could beat Ohio State come Big Ten, maybe final matchup, in the championship game here later on this week. It shows that, hey, Ohio State may be one of the title favorites, but we are too. And let me just read a quote from Caitlin talking about, breaking the record. I think you can say it's a statement. She said when asked about the win before going to the conference tournament. But more than anything, it's just a good momentum for our team going to the Big Ten tournament. Well, I just alluded to. You never want to go into the Big Ten tournament on a loss. So I think it's building off. So I think building off this is really important. So, her coach Lisa Bluder said this. This conference is so incredible. The two-time teams is battling out right there in the Big Ten. Like we alluded to, like I said, like I just alluded to, you don't want to go to the conference tournament with a loss hanging over your head. Whoever, you be matched up with, you still don't want that in your head, in your socket, out there, whatever. You want to go a little bit of momentum, have some confidence and stuff like that. Because you look at the Big Ten on the women's side of things. I'll pull it up real quick. Your top four, Ohio State, Iowa, Indiana, and Michigan State, your top four. After that, you got Nebraska, Penn State, Maryland, and Michigan. And after that, you got Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue, and Minnesota there. And bottom two in Northwest and Rutgers. So, like she said, you can't go into Big Ten tournament play with the loss hanging over your head, in which you got some decent teams that could give you a run. And, just going back to some of their losses. They lost to Nebraska in Lincoln. They kind of had a little struggle when they played against Maryland back early last month. They lost to Indiana on the road. Now you kind of look at the common theme. Some of the losses have been on the road. And we talk about Big Ten, we talk about neutral type play. So that's something else that, to keep in mind here. And of course, they lost to Ohio State in overtime back in January. So, this win was important. Her breaking the record, great. But this win was important as a team as well in going to Big Ten play. But back to her, though, to Caitlin Clark. What's her legacy? What she could do to cement it? I think she'll get the Player of the Year award. I've been on record on the show saying, early in the year, the way Juju was scoring and stuff like that, I thought maybe it'd be like a 2-woman race because I think South Carolina doesn't have nobody that sticks out, right? They're just like a great unit, but nobody really sticks out like that. Coming to the season, Angel Reese came in a lot of hype, but then she had the troubles early on that kind of, someone took her out of talks early. Granted, I think she kind of rebounded herself pretty well and has been playing great ball for LSU, but I think her early season troubles kind of put a bump into that. Paige Buchers, same thing, has come out and play strong, but I think the focus and story all year has been Caitlin. And what can she do to Samir Lexi? Win the damn championship. That's just my opinion. Her and the Iowa Hawkeyes, they gotta win the championship. To go out on top like that, to bring a championship to Iowa, and right off to the sunset to the WNBA, which she already announced that she is going to enter the WNBA draft and now use her extra year eligibility. But they gotta win the championship. I think she already submitted her legacy, but to really put her over the top as one of the all-time greats, she gotta win that championship. Yeah, but it's gonna be a tall task if they're gonna do that. And it's gotta be like a good draw come NCAA tournament time. You got South Carolina, as mentioned. You got Ohio State, who they beat today, but it's still a strong team. LSU, you can't count out Kim Mulkey come March time. Indiana, same conference. Virginia Tech, I know they lost to Virginia today, which is a very bad loss. But nobody's to sneeze at. Texas, 26-3. Stanford. We go out to the West Coast team. Stanford, UCLA, and USC. Those three right there. Good roadblocks. Connecticut. Coach Gino. Now one of his strongest UConn teams. A lot of injuries and stuff for those ladies this year, but you can't go against them. Oregon State. Utah. A team I I like following this year. Really liking Asila Pili, the senior forward for Utah. I really like her game. Kind of reminds me like a Chorus Williamson type. So, these teams I'm mentioning, they're gonna be a tall task if Iowa's gonna win that championship. But if she could turn it on like Kemba Walker did a few years ago, or have like a decent run like Jameer Nelson, Steph Curry back in the day, or who she mimics her game a lot or looked up to, Maya Moore. If she go run like that, then boom. We're talking about all-time college greats, regardless of gender. And that's a lot of names there. Sue Bird, Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Miller, Lisa Leslie. God, what's the McGee twins from USC? JaVale McGee's mom. Forgot her name. USC twins, McGee twins. Shamika Holsclaw. Those names. If she could make a great run in this tournament, you could put etch her name or stone. She probably get a statue somewhere in Iowa in the near future. So breaking the scoring record is great. Breaking Pete Maravich's scoring record that he's held for 50 plus years is awesome, regardless of gender. And I know some people say, like, you probably get some pig comments out there saying, well, it's a woman that broke the record. Well, in today's college landscape, you know, the top prospects in the men's side, they leave early or go to other options. And for the guys that do play 4 years, yeah, they score, but they don't score like that. But for the ladies, as we've seen this year with Caitlin, Juju, and others, hey, they can come in and do the damn thing. And that's what I like. But I bring up Juju in this instance. Could we talk about the next 3 years from now and the way she's been scoring and stuff like that? To the chat, go through y'all's talk points here in a second. But to the chat, the way Juju Walker's been scoring the ball this year, could she pass Caitlin Clark's record in 3 years? It's an interesting question to bring up because she's been scoring the ball great this year. She's averaging 27.8 points this year. Could she eclipse that record down the line or get close to it? That's a very, very, very strong thing to consider. Now, some people want to bring up Hannah Hidalgo, freshman for Notre Dame. She averaged 23 this year, 23 and 7, 24/7. She could be the talking down the line. So, I mean, I see some talking heads saying that, this may be a season we won't forget, all that stuff. That may be true. But those two ladies I just mentioned, could we talk about like two different ladies here down the line trying to break her record? Time will tell. But like I said, congratulations to Miss Caitlin Clark on passing the scoring record. Let's get to y'all chat real quick. How y'all doing tonight? I am Ryan solo to right now. If y'all just joining in, D-Log had a surprise meeting with his staff and all that stuff. So hopefully you join in. Maybe not. We'll see. But I told him, hey, don't sweat it. Just handle your business. To the chat, Mikey Two Guns. How you doing tonight, sir? My C's looking unstoppable. Yes, sir, they did. They smacked the hell out the damn Celtics. I mean, not Celtics. Damn Warriors. So much so that Steve Kerr didn't put his starters in the second half. Talking about ass whipping. That was a bad performance by the Warriors. And they gave Steve Kerr an extension too. At that, Miss Jim B in the chat. How you doing tonight, ma'am? Mikey say LeBron hit a 40K. Even from a Celtics fan, all I gotta say is suspect. Hey, you're probably in the minority because a lot of folks don't like LeBron like that. But Mike, I appreciate being just fair and right in the middle. Congratulating LeBron there. Terry Rodriguez in the chat. How you doing tonight, sir? Hope all's all well with you. Terrence said, "Can we just marvel how LeBron James and Caitlin Clark made history in the same weekend? Talk about a coincidence. Hey, it's great. Great for this show. Great for the Twitter page. Whatever and whatnot. But I saw down my adventure, Tuscaloosa watched and after the game we went out to eat and stuff like that. Watching Sports Center, they kind of show some players that could maybe break that record of LeBron's. They show Joel Embiid and Jokic, and they said they had at least played 13 more years in the NBA to get to that mark. Now, we know about Joel Embiid's injury history, so I think he at least got good maybe 4 years before we get to that. Before he maybe calls it quits, whatever. And y'all gotta remember, Joel Embiid didn't play too much in the beginning of his career. So I doubt he'll play them for 13 years. Jokic, the guy doesn't get hurt too much. But, is there a cap that he just like calls it quits or whatever and just go back to his home country? Make his money, take it, go back to his home country and call it a day. That's a fair point about Jokic. They showed Kevin Durant. I think they said he had to play another 6 years. That's a good possibility. Durant loves to hoop, but who knows how long LeBron's going to try and do this? That's another thing. How long LeBron's going to do this? Fair point. LJ in the chat, how you doing tonight, sir? What's the topic conversation of today? I just talked about Miss Caitlin Clark breaking Pete Maravich record. Where her legacy going to be, what she should do, kind of submit it in her final weeks of college basketball play before she goes to the WNBA. I say, hey, win the damn championship. Got a tough field coming here a couple weeks in March Madness. I lay out the teams that you got to go over. Win the damn field. Let's see, going over things. Mike Pat in the chat. How you doing tonight, sir? Like I said, Embiid's not breaking records. He's always getting hurt. Yes, very true. Like Mikey said, the knees are shot. Fabulous post player, great big man that can score. But damn, those injuries, those injuries to Embiid early in his career robbed him of a great, could have had like a stronger pro career, if that makes sense. If you really think about that. And then Mike Pat said, Jokic I can see. What about Luka? He seems to score a ton and there's a turn. And Dean just turned 25. Yeah, they didn't put up Luka on there while watching Sports Center at the place where we're at after the game. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put Luka there. They put those three up there. They didn't put Luka there, which I thought was kind of odd. Like him and Devin Booker will be the two guys I would consider. They put Wembanyama up there. I was watching this segment. I think they said something he had to play like 20 years to get to that mark. Could he get it? Maybe. But we'll see how his career progresses along. Another name I somewhat thought about as well But I think he's got to kind of refine his game a little bit in shot selection and stuff like that. Jason Tatum, I think he could probably get to that mark, but his shot efficiency to me it's got to get better. You know, it's got to get a little bit better to my liking if you don't get to that mark. Do I think he'll reach 30K in scoring career? Yes, but I think he's going to take a lot of shots to get there, in which I think with his size and scoring ability, he can reach that a lot sooner than how he does right now. Okay, all right. Think about this with Jason Tatum, and I thought this out of my head. Have y'all ever seen a movie with Tom Cruise? Let's see, Days of Thunder. Him and who else was that movie? Him and Robert Duvall. Was that in that movie? If I remember correctly. Anyways, yes, the race movie. Yes, if y'all remember correctly and how that movie went, Tom Cruise's character kind of, he drove well, but it could have been better. And then at some point in the movie, him and Robert Duvall, his character had, kind of middle ground. It's like, hey, race how you want at this half of the race, but let me take over the second half of the race, guide you and do it my way, and we can, win races, all that good stuff. I think that's what Jason Tatum kind of needs. You're almost there, but let me fix a couple things here that you won't do so much to get where you need to go. And I think I kind of see that. Do I see Joe Mazzulla being that type of guy to lead that? I don't know. Maybe that's why I was kind of high on Sam Cassell in that type of hire. Maybe to help along with that. We'll see how that will go. But Tatum was another, like I said, another person I consider there to reach that LeBron scoring level. Other than that, I don't think there's nobody really else at the moment. Currently in the NBA, nobody really else I can really think of. If Kawhi was healthy, and didn't miss a lot of a good couple years, maybe him. Paul George, he lost some time as well. James Harden, another possibility as well. I don't know how long he will continue playing. Anthony Edwards may be a consideration as well, but that's really about it. And Miss Jim B saying, Luka had to play 12.5 more seasons and maintain current average. I think for at least 10 more years to average his current level, yeah. I think he could do that. I think Luka is a strong candidate, like Jim brought up. I think Luka is probably the strongest candidate. Kevin Durant, do I think he can get 40K playing number 6 years? Yeah, barring injury. I think he can get there. Luka, same deal. I think he can get there. But, to talk to LeBron and what else he can do, getting 40K is great. But for me, and I come to this like I was kind of speaking as a Laker fan on this part here. And shout out to Marcus Los. Great. How you doing tonight, sir? I come to speak to y'all as a Laker fan on this. On my other show, The Crooks Process, and my lost episodes. When I mean my lost episodes, I got tired of paying for Podbean storage and all that stuff. And since you don't pay, they delete all your shit, which I think is like BS. So I lost a lot of those episodes. So, but I put it a short term like this. When LeBron signed with the Lakers all these years ago, I said one thing that he should do as a Laker is to bring at least one title to LA. I'll get that part to the second, Mikey. Give me this second. I'm going to get there. Several years ago when he signed with the Lakers, that he at least got to bring one title to LA. Which he did. Albeit, how 2020 played out. All that good stuff. But he did. But as y'all seen this LeBron run with the Lakers, it hasn't been the best. If you want to say that for real. I don't know what you would call it, like underwhelming development talent around him. Coaching. Other things. Other things meaning like other teams are better coached, got better players. Some kind of, bloomed, kind of just bloomed quicker than, we saw, i.e. the Thunder Timberwolves this year. I think one more thing he has to do. I think he got to bring another title to LA. I know I was 1-1 because when I said on that podcast years ago, Wilt came here at least 1-1. Kareem, when he got here, got to LA, won multiple titles. When they signed Shaq, he brought multiple titles. When they traded for Gasol, helped bring a couple titles. Now, some of y'all probably listening thinking, like, what about Kobe, Magic, Worthy, etc.? I'm talking about like guys that, LA has brought in. Guys that, they drafted, kind of like a different story in a sense. But what has LA always kind of been known for? Bringing in those big name free agents in trade or signing. LeBron's one of the big deals. And him, AD, they brought the title to LA. But the way things are going to LA, I kind of at least want one more strong LA year when we're not talking about them, it is play-in talk. The way things are looking now, them and Golden State probably playing each other in a play-in. Golden State got lambasted today by the damn Celtics. We talking about the Warriors team as a title threat? Hell no. Are we talking about the Lakers as to Mikey's question, could be a dangerous team in the playoffs? Are they a title threat? Hell no. If you put them, the Lakers, in a 7-game series with the Clippers. Now, granted, Russ will be out for a little while with his injury, but the Clippers, Dallas, OKC, Denver, they may get waxed out the floor. And I don't care if the playoff is a different strategy, all that BS. They might get waxed out the floor. But me as a fan, I think LeBron got have a strong, help with the Lakers have a strong season, like next year or whatever. What I mean by strong season, I mean like stay in the top 6. Take it back. Top 4 at least, and have a strong season. Not no struggling, not no losing streaks, and none of that BS. Top 4 season and bring another in the West, and bring another title to LA. That for me would kind of cement his legacy. You brought 2 titles to LA. You brought the scoring record in LA. I don't think he would never MVP trophy, but hey, why not shoot for the stars and try and win an MVP at your age? But I think for LeBron, getting 40K is great. Being the first player to score 40K points in the NBA is phenomenal. Breaking all these records late in your career, it's phenomenal. I wish Kobe, kind of had a chance to go for scoring work like that, but the injuries and stuff like that kind of took that away from him at the end of his career. Mikey asked, do you think it's a chance that LeBron will ever come to the Celtics? To say if they draft Bronny. Yeah, you never say never. You never say never. I think that's one of his goals, play with his son. How that work money-wise, that's a whole different ball game. Because I don't think LeBron would take a deep discount like that just to play for his son. If he would, if we're being real, these LA teams will probably be better, stronger built. Now we know LeBron is a guy that has a lot of pull. Now let's go with this. Let's go with Mikey's theory here. If Bronny does come out, which he shouldn't, but let me speak to Bronny on this. If Bronny comes out, that's his business, and he should do what he got to do. But to me, for Bronny, even into another degree, Isaiah Collier, his backcourt mate as well, who came in as kind of like a projected top 7 pick in this draft before the season happened, who's kind of slid down some boards. If I was those two, Bronny and Isaiah Collier, I would come back for another year at USC, or maybe transfer elsewhere. I would come back for another year of college basketball. If you stay at USC, hey, that's fine. I think they should go to other places, but hey, whatever. And the NIL money for them would be top notch. Just saying. Looking at you, Nate Oates. But anyways, I look at this. If I was those two, some mocks had Bronny in the second round. Now, if you're Bronny James, you kind of see yourself better than some of the folks probably mocked ahead of you. Same thing with Isaiah Collier. He's kind of slipped down some mocks I've seen and stuff like that. I kind of done a little bit deep dive in my draft prospects, stuff like that. I'm going to tell y'all now, don't be surprised between the first 4 picks you see Europeans are top 4 picks. A lot of guys that are kind of like combo forwards that can handle the ball. They're tall and lanky. You're talking about guys that are ranged from 6'8" to 7'2". They can handle the ball, shoot, all that stuff. So don't become surprised come June, you hear these guys in Europe, hear their name called. That, these guys will be drafted in the top 4. But back to those two real quick. I'll get back to Mikey's comment. USC season didn't go as planned. If we're going to be real about that. I don't say that USC men's program came in a lot of hype, but a lot of attention on them. And I thought, a lot of folks probably thought they'd be a little bit better, but not where they're at, currently sitting at. If Oregon State didn't suck ass this year, I don't think they would have been at the bottom. They would have been at the freaking of the Pac-12. That's how bad they really are. Like, going through USC's record real quick. Granted, they beat Washington the other night, last night. But and Bronny only played like 14 minutes. Shot the ball once. No free throws attempted. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a foul. Isaiah Collier probably had one of the better games this season for him. 31 points for him to lead the way. So, if I was 2 of them, I'll come back. I would come back out of 2 and kind of put the work in. And the thing with Bronny is that he had the medical issue. Yeah, he's come back and shown that he has played well, all things considered. But, some teams may be hesitant on that. So if I was 2 of them, I'll come back next year, wherever it may be. And you gotta consider, you can't just come back to USC. You gotta consider your options. Who could put us in the best position to get the best out of us? Do we look down south between Bruce Pearl or Nate Oates? Do we call Cal in Kentucky? Bill Self in Texas. I mean, not Texas, Kansas. Who probably be dying for some depth If those two couldn't call to him, Bryce Drew and Baylor, UConn, Tom Izzo, maybe. Mark Hughes had done a good job with guards over the years. So if I was those two, I would try to come back. Some of y'all chat saying he needs all those 4 years. A good possibility, but we know that's not going to happen. Sometimes, you can't rush things. And I think that's probably one thing Bronny's probably picked up from his dad, in which it's kind of hurt LeBron for not maybe not winning more titles in his career. Sometimes LeBron don't have the patience with the roster that the team puts together around him. And maybe with LeBron, you gotta be patient with this. Like, okay, I know things didn't go right as planned. I know I got for at least another 3 years. Maybe I could do this right. Tamaki's what's my assessment of Bronny's game? Very athletic guard. Can play above the rim, solid defensively. Good all around solid guard. But the Bronny we're seeing now, he's not turning around an NBA franchise. You're not sticking him on the Spurs, Wizards, Hornets, Raptors to tell him, hey, he's going to turn your fortunes around within a couple of years. That's not going to happen. So, like I said, his best option is to come out to a school for at least another year, evaluate all your options, and then go from there. And mind you, USC is going to the Big Ten next year. Now, is that the worst thing in the world? No. Because, hell, the SEC's adding Texas and Oklahoma. But you got to consider all your options. And what's his name? The coach of USC. Let me pull it up real quick. Can't Andy Enfield lead that team to a decent year come Big Ten play next year? I don't know. Depends how how the landscape is in the Big Ten come. Well, we'll see how the coaching cycle goes. But about going back to LeBron, could LeBron show up in a C's jersey if Bronny gets drafted this year? Possible. Can they make the money work? I don't know. But to ask you and Marcus as Celtics fans, and with the way the season been going, adding Porzingis and stuff like that, move Horford to the bench and whatnot. Do y'all want to really break that up? Now you can easily replace LeBron with Horford. I don't think people will cry about that, but Do y'all want to give up with the core y'all have? Drew Holiday as well. You got to shed a lot of salary to bring in LeBron. Now, if LeBron's smart, it'd probably be a greater basketball fit because you don't have to score a lot. You got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum there, and Drew Holiday at the point position there. So maybe like a better situation for him. But like Mikey just brought up, LeBron had to take a pay cut. Yeah, I don't think LeBron's gonna do that. And Mike, I hear you, but it's like, yeah, he got enough money, but as we see in this country, just because a lot of these folks got money, don't mean they gonna take a pay cut just because. If that's the case, the world be a better place if some of these rich folks did good humanitarian things. But I just don't see LeBron taking a pay cut like that. But you never know. But you never know. Real quick, going to scores real quick in the NBA side of things. Today's scores. Right now, the Knicks are up on the Cavs, 92-84. Jalen Brunson went out early in that game, like the first couple minutes with a leg injury. And he's sitting there holding his knee. So after his jump shot, so hopefully he's okay. After landing awkwardly on that. But right now the Knicks are up with 6:38 left in the fourth. DiVincenzo's 28 points. He's been playing pretty well in the second half of the year. 17 points off the bench for Bogdanovich as well. For the Cavs side of things, no Donovan Mitchell tonight. Darius Garland has 16 points. Jared Allen, 16 points. Mobley, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Okoro in the starting line with 17 points. Sam Merrill off the bench. 17 points for 18 points, excuse me, for him off the bench. But like I said, the Cavs down at the moment in the fourth quarter, in which I know the Cavs are up on the Knicks in the standings, but the Cavs, they can't lose ground to Milwaukee, who has won 5 games straight here post All-Star break. So I think it's a very important win for the Cavs to kind of stay ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks. And to Jen brought an interesting point. Bryce James, the middle child. He's somebody that a lot of folks don't really talk about too much. I mean, the more attention been on Bronny because he's that firstborn and whatnot. But Jen probably got a point. Sometimes the middle kid doesn't get noticed like that. Before you know it, there they are. And Bryce is bigger than Bronny at that as well. So I think the kids are like what 6'6", 6'7". And probably got a little more time to grow. So yeah, Jim brought up an interesting point. We'll see how Bryce's development is, and how those things go about. Because I think when Bryce gets to that NBA point, is LeBron still playing whatnot? That's a fair question. But yeah, Bryce is a kid that we gotta keep our eye on and see. I would hate how the media will do this, but they probably will. Probably compare the two brothers and how their careers go and all that stuff. I kind of hate that, but they probably would do it anyways. But we'll see on that. Let's see. Go back to the scores for today. Philly with a big win over Dallas today. Even despite Kyrie's somewhat comeback, they win 120-116. Big time road game for the Sixers. Tobias Harris probably had one of his better scoring games with 28 points. Tyrese Maxey 24 points for him. 21 points off the bench for Kelly Oubre as well. 38 for Luka Doncic, 28 for Kyrie Irving. Derrick Jones 21 points off the bench, 7 rebounds for him. 5 for 5 for him for 3-point land for Mr. Derrick Jones, who's really come a long way shooting the ball. If y'all watched him early in his career, he really couldn't shoot for a lick and all that stuff, and was just like a high flyer. But and guys like that, they always kind of have a niche to stay around the league. But if they work in the game and stuff like that, they stay around long. And I think I tell young kids what I coach sometimes, like really emphasize your strengths and stuff like that when you go for trials on that stuff. So if you're hard nosed like a defender and stuff like that, can defend real well, all that good stuff. If you make the team, show high character, all that good jazz. If you make the team, you can work on your other stuff on within practice, all that stuff. Come in early, work on your offensive game, ball handling, dribbling, all that type of stuff. And use Jerry Jones as an example. Yeah, you get by your athletic ability and all that stuff, but if you make the team and stuff like that, but now you're in the facility on that. Now you can work on your offensive game, all that stuff. You can work on your jump shooting and stuff like that, ball handling, other little things that you can clean up in your game to make yourself valuable for the team. Like you said, more valuable for the team. Instead of like putting you in like these type of situations, stuff like that. That's why I tell these kids like stuff like that. Do these things here, and then if you make the squad, work on your other stuff and progress along. Practice and all that stuff. Like I mentioned, Celtics beat down the Warriors today. So much so they were down 50 plus at halftime. No need to say more. One thing I was picking in that game, and I know they kind of started valuing Kuminga more, but why didn't Steve Kerr play Kuminga more in the second half? This is my question. This is my question there. 11 points for Moody, 17 for Lester Quinones. For the Celtics, Tatum with 27. Shot the ball very well. Jaylen Brown, 29 points. 19 for Peyton Pritchard, 12 for Hauser. I campaigned for J.D. Davidson and Anthony Washington playing time, but that didn't happen. So it is what it is on that part. Let's see. The Clippers get a big time win over the Timberwolves on the road. 32 points for Kawhi Leonard, 24 off the bench for Norman Powell. Like I mentioned, no Russell Westbrook due to injury. For the Timberwolves side of things, 27 points for Anthony Edwards, 0 points for Mike Conley, which that can't happen. He can't put up goose eggs if this team's going to try and contend for a title. That can't happen. 18 points for Karl Towns on that front. The Magic, D-Lock's team, beat the Pistons today 113-91. 29 for Panchero, 16 for Folks off the bench. John Adams played 13 minutes, but I thought he wouldn't play because he got hurt again. And this is kind of funny after the tweet saying he'll wear Donald Trump's shoes and stuff like that, and he gets hurt. But it's good to see him on the court. I wish he'd just stop saying stupid shit and he gets hurt. But anyways, for the Pistons, 17 points for Evan Fournier, 15 for Fenichacho. So the Pistons 9-51. They just Raptors beat the Hornets 111-106 today. Grant Williams, 18 points, 13 rebounds for him. Brandon Miller back in the lineup, 26 points for him, 10 rebounds for him. 14 points off the bench for Davis Bertans. For the Raptors, Emmanuel Quickly, 22 points. RJ Barrett, 23. And Grady Dick, who, if the Raptors are out playoff contenders, should be seeing more time, I think, more in the year. 11 points for him off the bench. You got the Thunder and Suns tonight. Tip off here in about 30 minutes. I've seen last night's action between the Suns and the Rockets. Hopefully Bradley Beal will be more mind of play. And you got a big game today against the Thunder at home. So hopefully these guys, and I know Devin Booker probably will be playing with this injury. So I think the Suns got to come out focused and try to win against this young, hungry Thunder team. And then I do want to shout out Max Strus. He hit that beautiful game winner. Beautiful game winner this past week. That was amazing. Hitting that shot like that. And this dude's been a great signing for the Cavs. Hit that shot against the Mavs. Does it kind of help his case? Maybe make it Team USA roster? Maybe not. But I think he should be in consideration. I think one of the topics I probably say for next week with D-Lock in tow is who should be making our Team USA roster? We are seeing the guaranteed names, but look at the names. You probably need some shooters. And Strus, maybe one of the guys they should consider. I know there's other names in there on the pool list, but you need some guys to knock it down. And I think Strus could be one of those guys. And with this play that he showed, not just this season, but last year, guy can score. And guy could be a great. When he catches fire, he can catch fire. But like I said, we're saying I'm gonna say the Team USA stuff for next week, and we'll see how our roster list compares to each other on that front. But I want to talk about my trip to Tuscaloosa real quick. Some of y'all know I'm a big Alabama fan. I'm not one of those people that went to the school, so whatever. But I went down. It was like a last minute idea from a friend of mine to go watch the Tennessee game. I said, cool, hey, sure. 2-hour drive down to Tuscaloosa, let's go. So, and I'm surprised I didn't hit a lot of traffic here because the state finals for basketball in the state of Alabama is happening this weekend. It's probably going to hit more traffic. But anyways, get down to Tuscaloosa. The atmosphere was great. The crowd was heavy. Decent amount of Vols fans where the seats were at. But the atmosphere is great. The electricity is great. They had college game day there earlier that day. Had a lot of people there in Coleman Coliseum. Everything was going great. Vibes are great. All that type of stuff. And then the game happened, and it was good back and forth. During the game. Tennessee. And let me say this: I can't stand Tennessee. I can't. It stomachs me to give them credit. Football and basketball, especially football. I can't stand Tennessee. I can't stand the fans. I just can't stand them. I just can't stand Tennessee. I just can't stand them. But though, I'll give them credit. In which they weathered the storm. Alabama kind of pulled strong in that first half. As late in the first half. Went on like a 12-0 run. One thing they did well. Alabama did well. Having the ball in Estrada's hands. Marcellus didn't handle the ball too much. Unless it was to push up the ball to forward and fast break, whatever. But the second half, I don't know what the hell Nate was thinking. Here's the thing. My only beef with Nate Oates and his system. And some of y'all, if y'all watch Alabama basketball with Nate Oates in tow, or you watch his time in Buffalo, not a lot of 2-pointers unless it's like layups or dunks. Like the mid-range game is non-existent. Some of y'all probably hearing this saying that's kind of crazy. Well, yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's his system. And sometimes what that's kind of bit him on the backside at times is not having a mid-range game. Yeah, everybody's at least efficient enough on the outside. But sometimes you got to keep the defense on and have a strong mid-range game. Like, we go through the greats of basketball. A lot of guys had a strong mid-range game. Michael, Kobe, LeBron, KD, Carmelo, Bernard King, Iverson, Ray Allen. Granted, yeah, Ray Allen's one of the greatest 3-point shooters, but Ray Allen can score the ball. Paul Pierce, you get my point. Dirk. But you don't see a mid-range game in Alabama's offense, especially in the second half when, a lot of guys are taking bad shots and stuff like that. In that second half, that's kind of when, like, opposite what they were doing in that first half when they closed out strong. And Tennessee, they hit some great shots at the end. I can't take that away from them. I really can't take that away from them. Dalton Netsch, been lighting it up here in SEC play. They kind of held them to 13 points. Ziegler, played great for them, especially in the second half, hitting key 3-pointers. Played great. And one thing I noticed about Tennessee bigs, they don't shoot the ball. They get this stuff down low, but it's more the guard and the foreplay. If you're big man, don't really shoot like that compared to Alabama's. But watching it, just watching it in person and stuff like that, they know their role, and they really don't deviate from it. So, big win for Tennessee. They're first place in the SEC right now. Do I think they hang on to the lead? By the end of the week for the regular season, I think so. But to see how things went in the second half compared to the first half is really just a bummer. And then everything, watching the game, Alabama can stay in front of those guys. I know they always push defense and stuff like that, but just kind of watching live and see how things are, just like from TV, like damn, I kind of slow footed a little bit. And the Tennessee guards were just getting by, getting layups and stuff like that with ease at times. So I think Bama got some crack calls. Yeah, Rhett Nelson found out BS because he got 2 cheap calls called on him. Being real about that. Pack House, saw Nick Saban, saw Kalen DeBoer, new Alabama football coach. But the environment is popping. But it sucks to go down there and watch your team lose. But it happens and all that good stuff. But 2 things about these 2 teams, real quick, before I get off there. If Alabama wants to win the NCAA tournament, the defense got to tighten up. Defense got to be better. I think the offense is always going to be there, but I think the defense got to be tightened up. As I've kind of been seeing, they always been playing more and more of these younger guys, the freshman guys and whatnot. Now, granted, Latrell Whiteshell is still out, so maybe that's why he's seeing like a Cosby Waters been playing more. But the defense, regardless, gotta get better across the board. And for Tennessee, if the guard play ain't popping between Kennech, Ziegler, even James, you better hope your big man can come up in big moments to kind of win you games. Because if they don't, then, and plus Rick Barnes' history in the NCAA tournament, that seems like a recipe for disaster. So, if both these teams won't win the NCAA tournament, I think those 2 things kind of be factors of why they don't make a far trip, even to like League 8, Final Four, whatever. I think those things will happen. I think maybe Tennessee maybe get further down the road than Alabama. But, we'll see. And to the chat, Jimmy said Darius Garner just want to drop ball there, Josh Hart. Let me go back and check that score real quick before we sign off the air. And the Knicks are up 107-98 on that. So, and the Knicks have just won the game. So, despite Jalen Brunson going out, the Knicks win 107-98 over the Cavs. Like Jen alluded to, that has been kind of struggling with Mitchell and LeVert being out. So, big time win for the Knicks. Bad loss for the Cavs with the Bucks, playing strong ball right now. But this has been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning with me in tonight. D-Lock will be back with us next week. Like I said, we'll go over our Team USA rosters, see who he selects, see who I select, and also see who y'all will put in y'all Team USA roster. The unconfirmed names we got so far: LeBron, Embiid, Steph, KD. I may be missing a couple folks here. Let me pull that up. But you get the gist of it. So, Drew Holiday, Devin Booker are locks as well. So, along with those guys I just mentioned. So, we'll see who else will make it the roster. Do follow the show's page as Fastbreak IESR. That's Fastbreak IESR on Twitter/X. Also, do follow iSportsRadio.com for all your latest show news and feeds as well. I want to shout out to y'all in the chat. Thank y'all for chilling with me for the hour plus here tonight as well. I salute to y'all. Thank y'all for making the show great. Do follow D-Lock on Twitter/X at Black-813. That's Black-813. Do follow him on Instagram as well as on the same name. Do follow me on my Twitter page as well, Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288. Also, do check out the Crooks Process on Instagram and Facebook. You see the CP logo there. I did post some videos and stuff like that from my time in Tuscaloosa. So do follow me on Instagram on there and give that like as well. And give me a follow on there on Instagram as well. Till next week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk more in the world of basketball. Tournament time is coming up, so more NCAA talk as well. And of course, the NBA down the stretch. I'll talk to y'all later, along with D-Lock next week. Talk to y'all later. Peace.